Now, it's one of the UK's biggest polluters, but a new project is looking at whether samples from sewage plants can be used to combat emissions at Tata Steel's furnaces in Port Talbot. The work by scientists at the University of South Wales sees climate-damaging gases turned into products that can be used by manufacturers. Our economics correspondent Sarah Dickens reports.
Blast furnace chimneys at Port Talbot Steelworks are a symbol of the challenge facing Tata Steel as it cleans up its emissions. These vast pipes are carrying gases, including carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Both are damaging to the environment. There could be a new solution, thanks to the University of South Wales. It involves using minuscule microbes from sewage sludge. Yes, from poo.
Microbes have been around on the planet since way before we have, and they've been doing this sort of thing since they came into existence. So microbes have always been able to do it. We're just taking them and using them in this way, really.
It comes from poo?
It's poo, yeah.
A tiny pipe takes some of the gases into the pilot project. It feeds the gases to the living microbes in a steel tank or reactor.
They're little bacteria that swim around in our reactor, and they eat the gases and make acetic acid for us.
That acid is collected and can be used to make other products like paints, cleaning solutions, and go into the food industry.
This is where the microbes live, and they do their work in here. It's all monitored online, so we can tell what's going on inside.
Tata Steel could sell it or use it themselves, for instance, as part of the colour coating process that it has at its works in Shotton in Flintshire. It all began in this laboratory. It's a tiny but important version of what has been built at Port Talbot. The results are verified using another process, and it enables academics to see the concentrations of the acetate that's produced. And if it can be successfully scaled up, this project could have a wider impact.
The project is focused on cleaning up what comes out of these blast furnaces. But if it proves successful, the same technology could be used for any industry that emits CO2.
Tata Steel has committed to cut its CO2 emissions by 30% by 2030. That's only 7.5 years away. It already tries to reuse waste gases from one part of the works to power another area.
Ultimately, we try and use as much gas as we can. The gas that we can't use, we'd have to be flared into the atmosphere.
And that's the CO2 that people talk about?
That's the carbon dioxide that we'd like to use in a different way to create value.
Getting a steelworks like this to a position of making net zero steel is a mammoth task, but it's what customers are calling for. In the meantime, small steps add up.